Your motivation is lying to you. That fire you feel after watching an inspiring video, it's fake. It fades faster than a New Year's resolution in February. Studies show 92% of people abandon their goals within weeks, not because they're lazy, because they're relying on feelings instead of systems. And while you're waiting around to feel ready, someone less talented than you is taking your spot. I've spent my career studying why people fail. I discovered something that changed everything. Discipline beats motivation every single time. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why and how to build it. Let me tell you about the worst advice I ever believed. I thought success came from feeling inspired, so I waited for the perfect mood, waited for that magical spark, waited while my goals collected dust and my dreams stayed fancies. I wasted years playing this game I couldn't win. Then I started watching people who actually achieved things. Business owners, athletes, writers who finished books while I was still planning mine. And here's what shocked me. They weren't more motivated than me. Half the time, they didn't feel like doing anything at all. The difference was simple, but everything. They did it anyway. That's when I understood the truth that changed my life. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Sparks get you excited for a moment, but engines get you where you need to go. You can't build a career on excitement. You can't build a body on inspiration. You can't build anything meaningful on feelings that change with the weather. Here's what nobody tells you about success. It's not about finding motivation. It's about building systems that work even when you don't feel like it. Let me show you how. Let's get brutally honest for a minute. How many times have you told yourself tomorrow's the day? How many Mondays have come and gone with plans that died by Wednesday afternoon? How many times have you felt that surge of inspiration, made big promises to yourself, then watched it all evaporate like morning fog? I'm not judging you. I've lived this cycle more times than I can count. We all have. But here's what most people never stop to ask. Why does this keep happening? Why do smart, capable people keep failing at the same things over and over? The answer is painfully simple. We're addicted to motivation. And motivation is the worst drug on the market. It feels amazing when you have it. You feel unstoppable, invincible, ready to conquer the world. But the high never lasts. And when it fades, you're left with nothing but guilt and another broken promise to yourself. Some of you know exactly what I'm describing. You watch an inspiring video at midnight. Your heart's pumping. You're ready to change your entire life. You go to bed excited, wake up to your alarm, and that fire from last night, completely gone, vanished, like someone reached into your chest and stole it while you slept. So you hit snooze, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Then you drag yourself out of bed, feeling like a failure before the day even started. Here's what's really happening. You're trying to fuel a car with lightning bolts. Lightning is powerful, spectacular, exciting, but it strikes randomly and disappears instantly. You can't schedule lightning. You can't store it in your tank. You can't drive cross-country on something you can't control. That's motivation. Shows up when it wants, leaves when it wants, and you have zero say in the matter. Building your life around motivation is like building your house on a foundation of clouds. It looks pretty until you need it to hold weight. I've studied human behavior for decades, watching thousands of people try to change their lives. The pattern is always the same. They start with enthusiasm, hit the first obstacle, wait for motivation to rescue them, and when it doesn't show up, they quit. They don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fail because they lack desire. They fail because they're playing a game that's rigged against them from the start. The game is rigged because human beings aren't designed for long-term thinking. Our brains evolved for survival, not success. When your ancestors saw a tiger, they didn't need motivation to run. Fear handled that automatically. But building a business, getting healthy, writing a book, these require sustained effort over months and years with no immediate threat pushing you forward. Your brain isn't wired for this, which is why waiting to feel motivated is waiting for something that goes against your own biology. But here's the part that should excite you. If the problem is biological, the solution is behavioral. You can override your programming. You can build something stronger than feelings. You can create discipline. Now let me challenge something you probably believe. Most people think discipline means suffering. They picture waking up at 4 in the morning, taking cold showers, grinding their teeth through misery. They imagine becoming some kind of emotionless robot who doesn't feel tired or scared or unmotivated. That's not discipline. That's torture. And torture doesn't last because eventually you break. Real discipline is completely different. Here's the mindset shift that changed everything for me. Discipline isn't about fighting yourself harder. It's about eliminating the fight altogether. Let me explain what I mean. When you rely on motivation, every single day becomes a negotiation. Should I work out today? Do I feel like it? What's my energy level? Maybe tomorrow would be better. You're constantly debating with yourself, and these debates are exhausting. Every negotiation drains your mental energy, even if you eventually win. But when you're disciplined, there's no negotiation because the decision was already made. You don't ask yourself if you feel like going to the gym. That question doesn't exist. Going to the gym is just what happens on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's not up for discussion. Think about brushing your teeth. Do you wake up and debate whether you're motivated enough to brush? Do you weigh the pros and cons? Check your energy levels? Of course not. You just brush because that's what you do. It's automatic. The decision was made years ago and now it requires zero willpower. That's discipline. Making your important behaviors as automatic as brushing your teeth. I had this realization after watching my own patterns for months. I noticed something strange. Some things I did perfectly, consistently, without any effort. Morning coffee, reading the news, calling my wife. These happen every single day like clockwork. But other things, the important things like exercise, writing, working on meaningful projects, these felt like climbing a mountain every time. Same person, same brain, completely different results. What was the difference? The difference was that the easy things had become habits while the hard things were still daily decisions. And here's what the research shows. Every decision costs you energy, mental energy. The more decisions you make throughout the day, the more depleted you become. This isn't motivation pseudoscience, it's documented psychology called decision fatigue. So the secret isn't having more willpower. The secret is making fewer decisions. You do this by building systems, routines, structures that remove the need for daily choices. When discipline is automatic, it doesn't require strength. It just happens. Let me tell you about someone I know who lost 30 kilograms. He didn't do it through motivation or willpower. He did it by making discipline inevitable. He threw out every piece of junk food in his house. He started meal prepping every Sunday so healthy food was always ready. He laid out his gym clothes next to his bed every night. He removed every obstacle and eliminated every decision. When his alarm went off at 5:30, there was no debate. His clothes were right there. His gym bag was packed. His path was completely clear. Was he motivated every morning? Absolutely not. Most mornings he wanted to stay in bed, but the system carried him. The structure did the heavy lifting. That's what discipline really looks like. It's not gritting your teeth through pain. It's designing your life so the right thing becomes the easy thing. Now, some of you might be thinking you've tried routines before and they never stick. I understand that frustration completely, and here's why it happens. Most people try to transform overnight. They wake up January 1st and decide they'll exercise daily, eat perfectly, meditate, journal, read for an hour, learn a language, and become a morning person. All at once, all starting tomorrow. What happens? They burn out by January 15th and feel worse than before they started. But they didn't fail because they're weak. They failed because they violated a fundamental law of change. You cannot build everything at once. Discipline grows brick by brick, one small habit at a time, one day at a time. Start with something so small it feels almost stupid, something you literally cannot fail at. Don't try to run 5 kilometers, just put on your running shoes. That's it. Don't try to write a chapter. Write one sentence. Don't try to meditate for 30 minutes. Take 3 deep breaths. You're not building the habit yet. You're building the discipline muscle. And like any muscle, it grows through consistent small efforts, not through one massive attempt that tears everything apart. Let me give you specific tools you can use starting today, not next week, not when you feel ready. Today, the first strategy is habit stacking. This technique is simple but incredibly powerful. You take something you already do automatically every day and attach the new behavior directly to it. The existing habit becomes your trigger. Here's how this looks in practice. Instead of saying you'll meditate sometime in the morning, which is vague and easy to skip, you say after you pour your morning coffee, you'll meditate for 2 minutes. The coffee becomes the trigger. Coffee leads to meditation every single time. No decisions required. I use this constantly. After breakfast, I write for 30 minutes. After checking email, I review my daily goals. After brushing my teeth at night, I read for 15 minutes. These aren't floating activities I have to remember. They're chained together. One automatically triggers the next, creating a sequence that runs on autopilot. Try this right now. Pick one habit you want to build. Now pick one thing you already do every single day without thinking. Link them together. After I do blank, I will do blank. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it. Watch what happens over the next 2 weeks. The second strategy is environmental design. Here's something fascinating about human behavior that most people never consider. We're heavily influenced by what we see. Our environment shapes our actions far more than our intentions ever could. If you want to eat healthier, put the fruit bowl on the counter where you can see it. Hide the biscuits in the back of a high cupboard. If you want to read more, put a book on your pillow so you see it when you go to bed. Leave your phone charging in another room entirely. Design your space to make the right choice obvious and the wrong choice difficult. I know someone who had a terrible phone addiction. She wasted hours scrolling every day, hating herself for it, but unable to stop. Willpower wasn't working. So we tried something different. She bought a basic alarm clock and started charging her phone in the kitchen instead of the bedroom. That simple environmental change transformed her mornings. Without the phone next to her bed, she stopped scrolling first thing. She started her days with intention instead of distraction. No willpower required. Just a different environment. Look around your space right now. What's visible? What's tempting you toward choices you'll regret? What small change could make good choices easier and bad choices harder? The third strategy involves body language and physiology. This is something I've researched extensively throughout my career. Your body and mind are connected in ways most people don't realize. How you hold yourself physically actually changes how you feel emotionally. When you're unmotivated, notice what your body does. You slump, you cross your arms, you make yourself small. And that posture sends signals to your brain saying you're tired, you're not confident, you should probably rest instead of act. But here's what's remarkable. If you change your posture first, your brain follows. Stand up straight, pull your shoulders back, lift your chin, take up physical space. Hold that position for just 2 minutes. This isn't motivational nonsense. Research shows that expansive postures actually change your hormone levels. Testosterone increases while cortisol decreases. You feel more confident and less stressed as a direct result of how you're standing. So when you don't feel like doing something important, don't wait around for motivation. Change your body first. Stand like someone who's ready to take action. Move like someone with energy. Your mind will follow your body. The fourth strategy is identity language. The words you use in your own head shape your reality more than you know. There's a small change in self-talk that creates enormous differences in behavior. When you say you can't do something, your brain accepts that as a limitation imposed from outside. When you say you don't do something, your brain accepts that as a choice reflecting who you are. Instead of saying you can't eat junk food, which sounds like deprivation, say you don't eat junk food, which sounds like identity. Instead of saying you can't miss your workout, which sounds like restriction, say you don't miss workouts, which sounds like a personal standard. This isn't just wordplay. Identity is incredibly powerful. When you see yourself as a disciplined person, you act like a disciplined person. The behavior follows the belief. So change your language. I don't instead of I can't. I am instead of I want to be. Watch how differently you feel and act. The fifth strategy is the 2-day rule. This one has saved me more times than I can count because it accounts for reality. Life happens. Some days you'll miss your habits no matter how disciplined you are. You'll get sick, emergencies will arise, chaos will intervene. That's okay, you're human. But here's the rule that saves consistency. Never miss twice in a row. Miss one day, fine. Life goes on. Forgive yourself and move forward. Miss 2 days in a row. That's when habits die. That's when you start sliding backward into old patterns. 1 day off is a rest. 2 days off is the start of a new direction. So when you slip, and you will slip, get back on track immediately. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until next month. Don't let the shame spiral start. The very next opportunity, you're back in action. 1 miss is meaningless. 2 misses is the beginning of the end. Now, let me be completely straight with you because I'd be lying if I said this was easy. Everything I've just shared works. I've seen it transform lives, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Discipline is simple. Simple and easy are not the same thing. You're going to have days when you don't want to do any of this. Days when the couch looks incredible. Days when your brain invents brilliant excuses that sound completely reasonable. You're tired, you've earned a break. 1 more day won't matter. You need to be kind to yourself. Starting tomorrow makes more sense anyway, and in those moments you have a choice. You can listen to the voice that wants comfort right now, or you can listen to the voice that wants the life you actually want. Here's what I've learned after all these years. The voice that wants comfort is loud. It's immediate, it's seductive and persuasive. But the voice that wants growth, that's the real you. That's the version of yourself you're actually trying to become. That voice needs you to fight for it, especially when fighting feels impossible. I remember writing one of my earlier books. I've been working on it for months. The initial excitement had completely worn off, replaced by something that felt like dragging myself through wet concrete every single day. One morning I sat at my desk and thought, what's the point? This is taking forever. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I should quit and do something easier. That voice was loud, really loud, and honestly, it made some compelling arguments, but I made a deal with myself. I said, just write one page, just one. If you still want to quit after that single page, fine, permission granted. So I wrote one page and something shifted. I wrote another page and another. Before I knew it, I'd finished the entire chapter. The urge to quit had completely vanished. That book eventually sold millions of copies, changed my career trajectory entirely, changed my life. And it almost never existed because I almost listened to the wrong voice on one difficult morning. The resistance you feel is not a signal to stop. It's a signal that you're attempting something meaningful. Easy things don't generate resistance. Only important things do. So when you feel that pull to quit, recognize it for what it is. It's not wisdom. It's not your intuition protecting you. It's fear wearing a disguise. You don't have to obey fear, you just have to outlast it. So here's where we land after everything. Motivation is a feeling that visits occasionally and leaves without warning. Discipline is a decision you make once and reinforce daily. Feelings fade by their nature. Decisions compound into results. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, you're building something. Either you're building the life you actually want, brick by brick, choice by choice, or you're building a collection of excuses for why you don't have it yet. There's no neutral ground here. No standing still. No maintaining. You're always moving towards something or away from it. The people who achieve remarkable things aren't smarter than you. They're not luckier than you. They weren't born with some special discipline gene you're missing. They simply learned one thing most people never figure out. They learned that action creates motivation, not the other way around. Read that again because it's the most important thing I've said. You don't wait to feel motivated and then take action. You take action and then feel motivated. The doing creates the feeling, not the reverse. Every successful person I've ever studied figured this out eventually. They stopped waiting for perfect conditions. They stopped waiting for the right mood or the right moment or the right circumstances. They just started moving, and the movement created momentum. And the momentum created results. And the results created more motivation than any video or quote or vision board ever could. That's the entire secret. That's everything. Start before you're ready. Act before you feel like it. Move before the motivation arrives. So here's what I want you to do. Not think about doing. Actually do. Pick one thing. Just one. Something you've been postponing. Something you've been waiting to feel ready for. And do it today. Not tomorrow. Not next Monday. Not when circumstances improve. Today, within the next 24 hours. Don't wait until you feel like it. Don't wait for the stars to align. Don't wait for motivation to send you an invitation. Make the choice. Take the action. Trust that the process works even when you can't see results yet. Because here's the truth that should wake you up. A year from now, you're going to look back at today. And you'll either see the day you finally started building the life you wanted, or you'll see another day you wasted waiting for a feeling that was never coming. Motivation brought you to this video. That's all it can do. It can spark interest for a moment. Discipline will build your actual life day by day, choice by choice, action by action. Now go prove you understand the difference.